Hey everyone. So I apologize. I know we were supposed to go, so I'm gonna jump ahead. And so if you, I don't know, well, how do I say this? So today, President Donald J. Trump and um, met with President Putin, right? And they I'm not so sure about the details because I was watching the press conference. Um, and it seems like there seems to be some other things that need to be negotiated. Other than that, there seems to be some sort of agreement so far in regards to Ukraine. And today we're going to go over some questions just to get you thinking a bit. Maybe like I think sometimes it's so easy to comment about like how other people are doing things. Um, but I think it's important to sometimes think about things from, perhaps maybe if we were in their shoes. So I'm going to give people some time to hop on. And then um, in the meantime, I'll just ask these questions and we'll just, yeah, get to it. So let me just bring up these questions. So, first question is, do you focus on gesture driven diplomacy or demand only substantive deals? I, huh. This one, I think it's important to go in. Um, oh man, if I had to pick one, okay, I would go with the diplomacy first because, like, I understand in a leadership position, and I'm learning this myself. Like, when you're in the leadership position, you need to at least present yourself in a way um, that boosts confidence in the people who trust you in that leadership position. Um, as for gesture, I think um, unless I'm personally there behind the scenes, I don't really know like what is being discussed like behind the scenes, like behind closed doors. So like I'm not so sure like how much of it is really just gesture. I mean I can assume, but I'd rather not do that. Um, especially since we're talking about like politics here, right? But I do think you need to be clear about not being a doormat, and you have to have like what you want in mind to make those deals. So let me just pull up the word substantive. So I don't know, like, I can't think off the top of my head what that means. I don't think I knew what it mean. I knew what it meant before I even asked that question. I looked it up, but I don't remember. So let's see. So substantive is having a firm basis in reality, therefore important, meaningful, considerable, having separate and independent existence. And it also means of law, defining rights and duties opposed to giving rules by which such things are established. Um, I don't think that really helped much, but I think either way, it's good to go in knowing what you want. And I think just from observation, Trump seems to like be a really good negotiator, and so he made it very clear, in my opinion, that there are some things that still need to be negotiated. Even though he said, at least it was hinted that there were some things, some deals, or at least some agreement rather that was made. Because again, like I listened to the press conference, but I don't know like the details, right? I think that'll be revealed in due time. So the next question is showcase strengthful, like I guess a strong ceremony, or keep them private and low key. I mean, I see the benefits of both, but really, if I had to pick one, showcase is strengthful ceremony, because like the U.S. is like a leader in, I guess, freedom, right? People come to this country to because to them, um, there's an American for some, but when you're in that position, I think it's important to showcase. Um, of course, I do think, well, I do think that there are moments where it is private, low key discussion. I think that could be done accordingly in respect to whatever the circumstance. I feel like we pay too much in taxes to be like ceremony, if you know what I mean. Ceremony, at least do it right, you know? So that's just, yeah, I'm good. Would you rather stay optimistic about future talks, or even after seem like failure, or stay skeptical and grounded in current realities? I think you can be practical and still be optimistic about future talks, because like Lord help me with this, because this times I prefer to take a moment about what I want to say before it really comes out. I think that the last administration could have done better, could have at least had conversation, perhaps the way Russia went about things, like, um, the war in Ukraine. Any factors that seem to be involved here, um, that I don't feel like that's really speak on just yet. But I do think it is important to be optimistic as a leader in the world when it comes to having a conversation with, other leaders, other nations. I feel like it goes south the moment like that communication is cut off, because it's like, okay, well, even if there is like a mutual interest or mutual benefit, seemingly, um, you never know who else they could be talking to. It's kind of like to school and hanging out like around a bunch of people at the lunch table. Like if you leave that lunch table, you don't know what to do. Like I shouldn't say behind your back. And the only way you can really stay on the things is like, just being and at least saying hi, at least the other person's present, even if you don't agree with them all the way, because especially if mentions, like when like if you have to see that person interact with them because you're on the world stage and you're both in leadership position, not, you know, important to have conversations. So yeah, if you cut it off altogether, then there leaves no room for potential. Things can improve, time, even if like the interest be there right now or the might not be there right now, and see that person, throughout leadership term, it might be better just to be a decent person, because I'm not sure about all of the things behind the scenes. At least present yourself in a way, not making enemies out of nothing, There's many lies, at I don't know if I want to say at stake, but responsible. So next question is, oh, this is an interesting one. Do you think it's appropriate to support no deals until there is peace, even if business opportunities are on the table? Um, sure about that. Celeste says I'm bringing up a bit. It's because of my reception, probably. Okay. Let's see. But I think it would make sense to have no deals until like, there's peace, even if opportunities are on the table. What would you do? Scenario. I feel like just observing that press conference today, it it kind of made me think in a different perspective. So the question, Celeste, was, do you think it's appropriate to support no deals until there is peace, even if there are business opportunities on the table? I think I don't think personally that's a wise move. Like when I was watching that press conference today, like what I saw was, okay, there's some agreement. There are some common interests economically where like prices of certain goods, like perhaps probably affecting food, most likely gas, energy, for example, like those prices can be improved if, there are agreements in those areas, and the other party could benefit, from exporting goods. So that I think leaves more room to having peace talks than just being like, okay, well, no deal until I get what I want, which I think in some cases would work. But we're talking about two nations with nuclear capabilities. I don't think that's the right strategy here. But what do you think about that? Because Celeste says that's a loaded and good question. It all depends. But think about that more. But if she's going to do that while she's doing that, then I'm going to move on to the next question. So lean on tariffs as leverage or trust diplomatic channels instead. Now, what does diplomatic channels mean, I wonder? Let me look that up. It means so diplomatic channels refer to the official and formal means by which countries communicate and conduct affairs with each other. These channels are essential for maintaining international relations, resolving disputes, and facilitating cooperation. They involve specific procedures and protocols for transmitting messages and conducting negotiation between governments, and that's according to Google AI Overview. I think lean on tariffs as leverage. I think so because, like, I want to be careful here because it's kind of like, okay, do I trust the diplomatic channels available? I feel like perhaps not. Maybe I'm like envisioning the people that are in office right now. And I know not everyone in that level has everyone's best interests in mind. So I think in when it comes to making a deal, or I don't know if I would call it bluffing, I think tariffs is a good strategy for leverage. I feel like President Donald J. Trump, like, I don't know why I said his full name like that. It sounded all, it's like how you Southerners say, like, the full name. President Trump, maybe I was reading his full name or something. I feel like because we're in a position to do that, like just having the influence this country has, I think we can do that. That's why President Trump does that. So I think, yeah, tariffs as leverage. I think that gets the point across stronger and quicker because it gets, whether it's our allies or adversaries to think, more, they're going to react to that for sure. Like if you saw a text message, someone trying to booty call you at 2 a.m., you're going to notice that first. Or at least I do. You know? Because the reaction, like if someone just sent you a gentle email, it might be like, oh, 10 minutes later, you'll be thinking about how you want to respond. I'm just thinking like real talk, like how I would probably respond. But yeah, that 2 a.m. booty call gonna get you thinking, right away, because you'd be like, what in the world is this? I feel like tariffs is kind of like, I mean, I shouldn't, but yeah. Okay, next question. Asking some deep questions today. Your full answer. I'm glad you're laughing about it. Let me see what else I want to ask. Oh, bold stunts can foster real change in action. I like this question. I feel like whether or not you like, I think that is one thing he's done well in terms of branding. The job in showcasing himself as this. So even if someone dislikes him, they're still talking about him. But he's got him or his marketing team or the press got people emotionally invested in reacting to what's right. I feel like he's good at taking I want to be careful what I say. Definitely he's definitely, I don't want to say bold. He's out there, so he is bold. But he's really good. I think people don't give him enough credit. He just knows that he's on a stage. He has an image, a brand, um, as a leader as well as a business person. And I think because he has that backs him up and the personality to, and I think speaker as well. So it all packages as boldness. And I think I might be like, okay, that seemed like it could be him or someone else politically. I'd be like, okay, that seems like a bluff. But because they do that, I think it's people reacting because get like people either buy or sell out of fear. And so I feel like they're going to make or not based out of fear as well. I think he's really good at maybe like putting a challenge in their face. But I can see how some people may use that. And I'm not trying to point fingers, but I can see how people may use that to distract from other things that are going on. I don't really see that as his strategy. But I think if I had to pick one, because that was the question, do you think bold stunts can foster real change or just distract from inaction? I think when paired correctly with other strategies, it can foster real change. Yeah, I really do. I feel like if it's a bold stunt without the purest intentions, then it's kind of like inaction distracting, inaction being used to distract something else, like another form of inaction, if that makes sense. Yeah. Anyway. I'm looking, oh, it's almost there. Let me look over these questions, see if there's anything that would today's episode. I feel like that was, oh, let me look at this. I think for now, I don't really see any other questions that would fit in code, but we can this conversation next week. Thinking, like I said last time, I think I'm going to make some changes to my channel, but it's just, I want to think about it more before I talk about it. So we'll see. Let me know in the comment conversations like today. Like for example, this week, like I really went a little bit deep today's news versus like, previous episodes, streams where I asked this or that questions. And it's pretty similar. The other one is more, it's all for entertainment, obviously, and to get you thinking about the perspective, to get you thinking about what influences your everyday decisions. That one is more, I guess, and see how we would really think, in that meeting that took place today in Alaska, So just type in the comments what you think about today's episode. If you got any takeaways, if it made you think about something from perhaps a new perspective, then go ahead and share that. And yeah, like, let me just put this up here too. Oh, there it is. So, of course, I'll just put this up here for. So this is just for entertainment discussion purposes, educational purposes only, not really telling you with their money, just making sure that I put that up, making it very clear. And yes, I am a financial professional. If you want to discuss your goals, then you can always book a call on my About section. You go to my YouTube channel, Diane Bay Finance. You should see About. From that, you click that, you can go to the link, and it'll send you to my Calendly. The link is also available on my other socials. So I'm also on TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, Threads, and Facebook. So yeah. Well, thank you. And yeah, I'll be here next Friday. Ideally 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. If you know of anyone that you think would enjoy these conversations, any feedback, then you can always, you can direct that person to Diane Bay Finance, any platform. But I'm mostly doing the lives here. And yeah, any feedback is welcome. You can include that in the comments section below, and I will see you next week. Until then, have a wonderful weekend. All right. Take care.